always wait for the ding. Welcome back to the Weekly Mash, where we dive into all things books, magic, and a little bit of mischief. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. We have the fabulous Lori Thorn, author of Enchanting Elixirs.
Ooh.
If you've ever wondered what happens when a skeptical love potioneer and a Hawaiian-shirt-wearing detective and family secrets collide,
I love it.
well, you're in for a treat. Lori, thank you so much for hopping on our podcast today. We have not read your book yet. It is on our TBR, but can you tell listeners, watchers, a little bit about yourself and your book, and then we will ask you some questions.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of
I'm
course.
super stoked to be here. So me, right, mostly contemporary romance. This was my first step into magical realism land. And all of my books are really immersive. They have elements of humor because I just think that's a part of life. And how can you not, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to read that
Yeah.
if there's not. So they are all open door. However, very plot first. I could just remove those parts. And in fact, I've thought about doing that. You ladies can tell me your opinion
Yeah.
because a lot of people want the clean. I say that with quotations. I actually despise that terminology. Zip that. They like the closed door.
Uh-huh.
That's what we're doing now. And I could just remove because it's like parts. There's like 3 times usually in my books, and I could just cut it out and then publish it as the closed door edition and burn an ISBN. Thoughts?
That would
I actually think that would be really popular. Yeah, because there's obviously people that like the open door and there's people that like the closed door. And a lot of readers get disappointed when there's a popular book or something that they want to read and it doesn't have the cleanness or whatever it is that they're looking for. Because there's actually a lot of like Christian readers that read romance and they just skim over it or skip it. So I think having like an edition, I think that would be popular, and I think a lot of authors should probably do that. I think they would make a lot of money in new reader branching out if they had that
I'm going to
option.
seriously look into that. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I just never seem to have. I'm always writing, so I'm like, when do I have the time to do this?
To go cut out some
There's never enough time.
Maybe after I wrap up this next book, I'll have the time to go back and edit. But thank you for the opinions. And as for Enchanting Elixirs, well, I have it right here. Wasn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
Enchanting Elixirs, it's been described as really unique. That's the comment I get from people who read it is, wow, I've never seen a magic system quite like this. It feels very real. It feels genuine. And that's because I don't know how to make a magic system that I don't understand.
Yeah.
So it is a very approachable sort of magic system. And other than that, it's in our real world. And the romance in it is darling and funny at times, but also healing for the main character. But I'm telling you, you could just take the romance right out and it's a whole mystery unto itself. Cool. There's paranormal happening. There's the family secret that you referred to, and it gets all wrapped up in this town drama. So people are starting to go missing is what's happening. And Cordelia, our main character, who is a love potioneer, and she's kind of like an introvert and kind of blunt and really set in her ways. And she's just like, this is nothing. People get lost hunting all the time. This is not a big deal. We're not going to worry about it. Right. And Hestia is her niece, but they really act more like sisters in it because of Read and Find Out.
I love that.
But she's concerned and she's kind of opposite energy, right? But they're perfect together and they really know that about each other and they use it to run Enchanting Elixirs, which is their business.
I love it.
So,
Very cool.
But it's a wild ride. It's a great book. I can't say anything else without spoiling.
Everything is... Me and Miranda are like huge book people. We especially love like the small and big indie authors. Like indies are our favorite. And it's funny because I literally have this terrible habit of while we're recording the end, I'm literally buying the book. Because sitting here talking to
you can see her like...
Because I just sit here and the joke is Miranda and I could just sit here and do this all day and just listen to you guys. Because we just want to keep hearing more. So we're like,
she's always so good
keep
all
going.
the time.
Keep going. Keep going. Okay. So let's dive into some more questions. Cordelia is a renowned love potioneer, as we've said, who doesn't believe much in love herself. But she's a love.
She bottles it.
That's true.
She manufactures that shit.
I love
She's
it.
like selling it with a ribbon, you know? So when it comes to like legitimate real world without the potions, she's very skeptical. She doesn't really think that that's real. And she tells Hestia at a point, she's like, familial love. Yes, I love you. Right. But romantic love. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think that's me.
Whatever.
Just kidding. I love that. So we gotta know what inspired her character and what's fun about writing someone who's so skeptical yet so capable.
Ooh, so I love a salty lady. I just do. I think that it's a way of women being powerful, and that's kind of just how we see that. And so a lot of my women characters have kind of that aspect to them. And I needed her to be really strong because the things that she's going to go through in this book, like it needed her to be strong. So I knew that. And I just loved writing her too, because I'm not really like that. Like I'm strong in some ways, but I'm introverted. I will say that. But like blunt, no, I'm a word master. I'm going to make it sound so pretty for you. Even if I'm giving you bad news, you're going to walk away confused.
All the flowery language.
But she was great to write for me in that way because I was like, ooh, I can be cutting. I can just get right to the point. Yeah. So that was wonderful. And I think I forgot the other part of your question. Did I answer it?
What inspired her, or what was fun about writing someone so skeptical yet so capable? That was the whole part of it.
Okay, maybe I got to it.
Yeah, I think you got it all.
I think it's good. Yeah,
I liked it. I liked it.
I know. I'm already like, ooh, sounds awesome. I love you said the saltiness. I feel like it makes it that much more entertaining to just be like, oh my gosh, did she really just say that? It just makes it, you just want to read more and be a part of that world. Yeah, I definitely
Well, you all have that friend. If it's not you, you know someone who it is. So it's super relatable because you know that person. And you either are her or you want to be her at times. So that's Cordelia. And then the juxtaposition. Sure, that seems fair. The juxtaposition with her and Carlos, who is the Hawaiian shirt wearing. Oh my gosh. I love that. She hates that. She hates that. Well, it totally stands out. They're in Connecticut, okay? No one is wearing Hawaiian golf style t-shirts. So he sticks out like a sore thumb. And funny. She's just like, where do you get the audacity to be wearing this? Don't you have a uniform? Like you're a detective. Funny. What's happening? Like, we'll see if she ends up like that in the end, though.
Hold on.
I know. We have this story that mixes romance, mystery, and family secrets. How do you balance the cozy witchy vibes with the detective and the suspense elements?
Okay, so and it's almost like being in two different worlds in the book. So there's the inside Enchanting Elixirs, which you spend some time in there. You get to see Cordelia, how she brews her potions, which is very psychological too. You get to see her shop, which is kind of, I imagine it as this very clean white with plants kind of aesthetic. And it's small. You can see the whole shop when you walk in. It is cozy and clean, like a pharmacy, but like one that you really want to be in. Yeah. Not
right? like an herbal pharmacy.
Yes. And in the back room, it's a little more rustic. The shelves go right up to the ceiling because she's got all of her ingredient bases to pull from. And then she actually lives above the shop in a little studio apartment. So it's small. It's her world and she loves growing things. So there is like ivy draped around her kitchen windows. And that's like the cozy part. And it's small town too. So it's set in Mystic, Connecticut, which is a little cozy place, or the way I imagine it is anyway. But then the mystery is anything but, right? It's ages old, the thing that they are dealing with. And Cordelia's grandmother happens to be a like folklorist. And so while she's in the book, but she's not able to participate because of her current state. But she's got tomes of journals from her travels while she's collecting folklore, and they're trying to solve their family mystery. And it ends up being connected to what's happening in the town with the disappearances right then.
Wow.
So you do. It's like as soon as you exit Enchanting Elixirs shop, the mystery is out there in the world.
So intriguing.
I have to like give you props on something. Normally when authors come on here and they're talking about it and they're like, but I don't want to spoil it, so that's just where I'm going to end it. You do such a good job of like taking us down the road and you're like, oh, there's a spoiler. We're going to go right around that and keep going. I love how you like talk about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I agree.
I try really hard.
Nope.
We're just going to ease our way around this barrier and go this direction.
Another inside joke with us is I always say like reason and I come up with some stupid number about why I would make a terrible author. If I were to come onto a podcast, I would literally sit here and like read you word for word of my 25-page novella because I can't write a real book. And then I'd be like, there you go. Now you don't have to buy it. Because I just told you
well,
that.
And she's one of those people too that she'll buy you a gift for like your birthday 3 months away and she can't keep it to herself. So if she wrote something she had to keep a secret, there's no way that would be under lock and key. It would be out in the world right from the get-go.
So hard. What happens is you have to like get your people in line. Like my husband reads everything that I write and I talk to him endlessly. I'm like, you will never guess what happened today. Like Vera did this thing. And he's like, oh, okay, wow. And then I have my bestie too, Heather, who, fun fact, does all of my covers.
Oh, that's cool.
Just random. We were besties and then she started doing my covers.
That's cool.
But I tell her everything too. I'm just like, you'll never believe the idea that I had today. But that way you don't go telling everyone everything because you want to.
Oh, yeah. If I didn't have Miranda where I was like, Miranda, guess what happened in this arc read? And she's like, oh, I know. And I'm like, okay, good. Now I got that off my chest.
Yeah.
That'd be
if
terrible.
you didn't have me, it would just be like, bloop, out in the world. Sorry, guys.
I would have been sued like 20 times by now.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, gosh, I'm terrible. Okay, so let's talk about Detective Carlos Perez for a minute. Like you said, he wears the Hawaiian shirts for no odd reason in Connecticut. What was it like creating a love interest who's both charming and quirky in unexpected ways?
Well, his backstory explains why he dresses the way he does, right? So you'll learn more about him, but he's also like, if I had to like boil it down to a trope between them, it would be a grumpy sunshine and Cordelia is the grump and Carlos is the sunshine and he is just unperturbable. Like get under your skin, drives Cordelia crazy because she's used to being in control. She's used to that blunt, people go blank face. I can't believe you just said that to me. He doesn't do that. It rolls right off his feathers like he's a duck. He's just like, I see your game. Okay. And just lays into the niceness and kind of the protector role that he feels he's in because he is the detective and things are happening around her shop. So like he is a take charge, no nonsense ball of sunshine.
He reminds me of Brian in a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I'm definitely the grumpy sunshine in the grumpy sunshine. I'm the grumpy in the never mind.
You're
I'm
the
grumpy in the grumpy sunshine.
Depending on the day you're at, somebody's asking you because a lot of times you say that he's the grump, but sometimes it's grumpy.
Definitely.
It's
That's
okay,
my favorite trope.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Gosh, you're too much. Okay.
Well, I'm here.
Enchanting Elixirs is the first in the series. Can you give us a sneak peek at what readers can expect in your follow-up?
Okay, I can. So I am writing it slowly. It will not be my next release, but the next in series will be Occult Accounts. And if you've read Enchanting Elixirs, some of the feedback that I get is I need more Hestia. And we all need more Hestia. It's true.
Sounds like it.
And where Enchanting leaves off, she is in a very bizarre situation, right? The book resolves. If you're a person who just wants a single book, don't worry. You don't have to read the second book. It's not like a long romantasy series, which I do love, but I do not write. But it puts her in a place where I don't think I've ever read anything like it, to be honest. It's very bizarre. And so the second book starts out with her trying to emotionally deal with the hand that she's been dealt now. And so she is not in a good place. Through Enchanting Elixirs, she's kind of like a ray of hope and like the sign, like, oh, you unshakable. Like she's there for or for Cordelia. She's there for the people in her life that she thinks are innocent. She's kind of like a heroine-esque person, but she's really lost some of that the way this book ends. And so at the beginning, you're seeing her grapple with very difficult things at first. Occult Accounts comes from her business that is mentioned in Enchanting Elixirs. Toward the end, she's trying to revive her grandmother's folklorist career, right? She's got all of these tomes sitting around gathering dust. Well, she wants to computerize them, digitize, I guess that's the word, digitize them, and then continue her research. And so she has this opportunity to do so. So she's trying to start Occult Accounts at the same time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Love that.
They're like interconnected standalone-ish books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I feel I'm terrible. So I'm terrible with reading like the long fantasy series because like I'm a huge mood reader. So halfway through, I'm like, okay, I'm tired of this. But I feel like I have to finish it before I can move on because I'm going to forget in 10 minutes what I just read. So I love the interconnected standalones, especially the fantasy ones, because I feel like I can leave the world and come back without forgetting everything I read.
Yeah. Like, and cliffhangers suck.
I know.
Yes.
As much as we love them, we love to hate them too. Yes.
Don't
Have
like
you?
cliffhangers.
My husband and I are reading the Blood and Ash series by Armentrout.
Oh.
Have any of you read that? You reminded me of it because we're just on the second book, so I don't know what's going in the story. But the way the first book left off, and we were like, how is it going to start? Like, what is going to happen in book 2? And then it immediately starts off from the exact same scene, basically. And I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah. It's not like 3 months later.
And you didn't have to wait for the next one because it was already there.
Yes.
I think
It
I
was
have
Yeah.
the first one, but I'm weird and I have to have all of the series unless they're not done before I read them. Because then I like sit here and freak out about wanting to read the next one, and I can't, and then I can't move on because I have it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I'm weird. I'm quirky, I guess.
You are, but it's good sometimes.
I don't know about that. How do you keep the magic and the romance fresh across the multiple books in a series?
Well, I think we're exploring what different characters, first of all. So Cordelia was our main character in Enchanting, but now Hestia is the main character, and she's got this whole different set of circumstances, and her personality is different. So that's going to be different on its own, the way that her romance will blossom or not.
Or not.
And we're also, I'm a romance author. Of course it's going to blossom. But the other thing is in this world, you have different, like I talked a little bit about the magic system just being unique. It's very delineated, right? There's only, you're either born with the gift or not. It's not a secret. People know that they have whatever gift that they have. And there's really limited scope of what your magic can do. Cordelia is a potioneer. That's all she can do. That she doesn't have access to other types of magic. She is specifically a love potioneer. That's it. Done. There is one other type of potioneer, and that is like for health, like a doctor style. And there are keepers. So there are green keepers. Those are people who can communicate and interact with plants in a specific way. There are wild keepers. Those do the same thing, but with animals. There are aura readers, and that's what Hestia does. And there are maybe hotly debated time readers. They're very rare. We don't know if they're even real, honestly. But think like, remember Cleo? Are you guys old enough for that? like crystal ball telling the future.
Yeah.
Like that's what a time reader kind of would be. And people really don't believe that they actually exist. That's just something people say, and it's a fraud. But we don't know. Maybe we'll find out. But those are the very specific things that you have. And that's the whole magic world. And so we looked a lot at potioneering in the first book and a little bit at aura reading. But in this book, we've got aura reading and center stage, but we've also now got a greenkeeper. And the way that she's building Occult Accounts is to try to find very talented people in each of these branches. So we're really going to get a closer look at the world of magic in Occult Accounts.
That's so cool.
Very cool.
Mm.
Oh.
Man, I'm going to be ordering this one again before the end of the recording.
Oh my gosh, you're going to be broke. Okay.
I know.
You have mentioned that you attended events and signings frequently, like at Barnes & Noble. Do you have any memorable or funny signing stories that you want to share?
Oh, absolutely. I like signing. I'm actually making a video for my author channel on YouTube about events because I just coming back from Flirty in Tampa, which was last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's my second time at Flirty in Tampa in particular, and it did not go well. So I'm going to hash that out.
Strikes, you're out.
People and just review. I still think they're worth it. However, for a unique, like my favorite memory from any of these signings right now, it was pretty recent. Also, I did a signing at the Asheville Barnes and Noble just a couple months ago. And not only was I nervous and stoked because that Barnes and Noble, I used to work at the Geek Squad inside the Best Buy in the same parking lot as that Barnes and Noble. And I would take my lunch breaks over at Barnes and Noble and go to their cafe. So it was like a total homecoming sort of moment. But I was sitting in there, and if you've ever been into that Barnes and Noble, it's 2 stories. So it's beautiful. Oh my gosh. Even just the bookstore is gorgeous. You walk in, and I got to see people do this. So they had me set up my table right at the entrance, and people would walk in and just go, wow.
I think I follow them on TikTok.
I got to see that like 5 times, but that's not what I was going to share. So I was sitting at the table, have my Stein, deet, 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 deet. I have my sign in front of the table, and so you can't miss me, right? And so people were coming up and talking to me, and I was talking to lovely ladies, and I was telling them about Enchanting Elixirs. We sold a lot of Enchanting Elixirs that day. And I was having this conversation with them, but over here on my right, there was a family that had come in, and they weren't talking to me. They were like planning amongst themselves, right? And so something happened over here with the ladies. I don't remember exactly, but I ended up saying that I was the author of several other books too, and to keep a lookout for them or something. And there you have a little girl, this group to the right. She had to have been like 10, I'm guessing, but young. And she gasps. And I look over at her, and she goes, "You're an author?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And she was like, "I want to be an author so bad. That's what I want to do. How do you do it?"
That's so sweet.
That's cool.
It was the purest. And like she came over, and we chatted about the difference between trad publishing and indie publishing and how the world is her oyster because things have changed so much and it's so much more accessible than it once was to be an author, and that she could absolutely do it if she wanted to. It was the coolest experience.
That's the best story. I love that. So cute.
Nope. Couldn't do it. I would have been like, girl, run.
I wish I had
Just kidding. But that's just because I don't write books. I read them.
Boy.
I know.
You crack me up.
Sorry, that's my cue. So let's go into some more questions about you as a writer. How did you first get into writing romance and witchy cozy mysteries?
So I started writing children's books.
Did you?
I did. I have a series called My Boring Werewolf Family. And I wrote it for my son, Joven, because he was learning to read, and there wasn't like things that he wasn't into, right? And it needed to be the right level of fantasy, but able to be read and understood by like a second grader, And I just got inspired, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write something and maybe he'll like it. And he liked it pretty good. I actually got a literary agent for that thing.
That's cool.
That's a whole different story, though. It was so fun. The process of writing is almost like an intoxicating thing because you never no, like even if you plan, like I'm a plantser. Like I plan and bullet point all of my
Yeah.
chapters out, and I have an idea of what my characters are and their backstories before I start writing. But even doing all of that, you don't know what's going to happen
Mhm.
because when you start, your mind just goes to all of these other places, and the characters, it's as if they're acting on their own volition sometimes. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Like I can't control this is just what's happening now. And you're along for the ride. And I loved it so much. And after I got through with that series, I was kind of like, well, you know what? I want to keep writing. And I think I could write for adults because I read romance,
Yeah.
right? I think I could do. I'm just gonna take a stab at it. Like we're just gonna give it the good old college try. And I wrote Remotely Love was my first romance that I published. And I have been working from home for like major corporations since 2012. So Remotely Love is a workplace romance that takes place in a virtual
That's
company.
cute.
It is adorable because imagine being in love with someone, but you've only seen this much of their body.
Yeah.
The intrigue you must feel.
My
Right?
husband works from home.
Hi.
And we gotta talk when I'm done.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I got into it, and I just haven't stopped since. I love it. Like I was telling my writers group the other day, I was like, you know, I fell in love with it, and now I'm gonna do it forever.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of me.
Now your children's
Caught the
book,
writing bug and it's not going away.
what
Right.
ages is that appropriate?
What?
Your children's book, sorry.
It is made with like a second grader in mind, I would say. They are on Kindle Unlimited still, but this is yet another thing that I'm like, I need to edit those because I was just a baby. I need to reformat them too. Like I could make them shinier and better for sure. But when?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So, with writing and continuing to write forever, like you mentioned, do you have any writing rituals or favorite snacks or like playlists that help you get in the zone?
Man, I hate to be boring, but kind of no. Like low key, no. I usually have like a coffee, right? But this is where I write most times because of ergonomics. I have like
Yeah.
raging tendinitis if I don't actually type correctly. So I have
Yeah.
this little stand here and I type down here and the computer is up here. But I mean, no, like I guess I wait till my kids are at school. So it's quieter. That doesn't work in the summer.
Yeah.
I know, right?
No, does not.
It does not. I will try. So I am bad at this. And so one thing that I try to do is to not have distractions apart from the children. They can't help it.
Right.
Like listening to music. I wish that I was the type of person that could just vibe out to music in the background, but I cannot do that. I'm just like dissecting the piece of music.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
thinking about all of the things going on in the work. Like I can't do that.
Yeah.
And like putting on a show in the background, which is my kryptonite. Sometimes I just can't not. And so I'll put one on and I can tell like if I'm tracking my productivity, I will easily do over 1,000 words on days that I am not having like freaking 90 Day Fiance on in the background. But if it's on, it will be less, guaranteed.
I was on a live. I've been trying to do those reading sprints, and I was on
Yeah.
TikTok live the other day. And it was just, I was just in here, it's my little reading room, and I didn't have any music going. And I don't do like long sprints because I get distracted too easy. And somebody comes on and they're like, it's too quiet. And I was like, oh, well, I'll try to bring in music. So I tried music the next time. I think I read like 2 pages in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I think it was like cafe jazz or something. So it wasn't anything with words, and I didn't have it very like loud. But no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
My brain's too.
Just slows you right on down.
Yep.
I mean, my brain's slow anyway. So
My goodness, whatever.
yeah. If you could have a potion for one thing in real life, what would it be?
I have been asked this before, so I
Ooh.
have a prepared answer.
Good.
Nice.
It's such a good question for the book. And I've seen people like, I did this thing with Callie where you can be partnered with book influencers as an author, and then they like you send them a book and they put stuff up. Anyway, I was trying that out on their free sample because they are too expensive to actually subscribe to, but they had just released and they were doing a whole free promotion. And it is a cool thing. And I really liked the people that I worked with, but some of them asked this question, and it was so cool to see like Instagram blowing up with like, oh, I would want this, I would want this, I would want all of these different potions. But mine would be like, do you know, like when you see kids playing on the playground and they are just running full throttle, laughing their asses off? They are just so joyful to be alive in the moment. And that's what I would want. I want a bottle of pure childhood joy.
I mean, I am a
Don't take
preschool
it all at
teacher. I
once.
could make this happen.
Go for it. Bottle that up. People will buy that.
I just sit there and I
Oh,
look at them
gosh.
and I'm like, if I had their energy for 5 minutes, do you know what I could get done?
Right?
I could take over the world.
Yeah.
Just 5 minutes.
Oh, that's like Pinky and the Brain style.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
Gosh. Oh, we're gonna do some rapid fire. So just whichever one comes to mind first. First one is coffee, tea, or something else.
My dentist knows that I drink both. So coffee in the morning, tea at night.
My coffee
Good
girl.
balance.
Favorite cozy mystery or romance outside of your own book?
I am reading one right now that I am obsessed with, and it's another indie author.
Ooh.
And I see her all the time on TikTok. I'm sorry in advance. I'm blanking on your name. I'm going to look it up. It's Andrea Anderson, and it's written by a
I
woman.
feel like I know that name.
Like, and I'm obsessed with this book right now, and I can't stop reading it. It's so good. And I was reading it with my bestie, who Heather. I've never read a book with her before, so I didn't know this about her. But she finished this book in a day. In a day. I can't read that fast. I don't know how people do that.
That's Miranda.
She's already read the second book. She told me. She was like, when are you going to finish the first book? Because I have news about the second book. And I was like, Heather, it's going to be at least a week. It's going to be like 10 days. One chapter a night in this book is all I can do because I'm reading other books too.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Miranda's the speed reader. I definitely am not. Takes
My
me
husband is. And apparently Heather. Betrayal.
Dang it, Heather. Gotta slow down.
Slow down.
Kindred spirits, Heather, you and me.
I learned with my husband that if we're doing a co-read, which we read the same things all the time, it's our little personal book club, but I learned if I get him the like hardcover or paperback edition and I take the Kindle edition, since we read at night, it slows him down. I'm turning out that light and I can still read. He can't. Take that.
Gosh, that's hilarious. I love that.
See, I wish that was my excuse, because if I have a physical copy, I have to have it on Kindle, I have to have it on audio. I seriously read it all day long, and somehow Miranda still gets it done like the same day.
Yeah. You'll have to come up with your own version of literary sabotage like Lori has.
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly what it is.
I mean,
Perfect.
my middle daughter does go stay at Miranda's house a lot, so I just like, Zoe, I'll give you $20 if you hide Auntie's Kindle.
No, you better not. No. Okay, next question in our not very speed round. Cats, dogs, or magical familiars?
Cats.
One word
100. No explanation needed.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's good. I said cats, no explanation needed.
Mine depends on the day, if I'm a cat or a dog person. One word to describe Cordelia.
So hard to describe in one word. I will say spicy.
I like it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One word to describe Detective Carlos.
Oh, spicy, but in like the caliente way.
I love it.
You could climb that man like a tree.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm thinking of, we got a package today from an author in Ireland, and she sent the scent of her MMC in like the wax cubes. So you said climb them like a tree, and I'm like, how can I make a scent? I'm terrible. Sorry. Beach or mountains while writing retreats. Or, no, sorry. Beach or mountains for writing retreats.
I'm going to say beach for retreats. I live in the mountains.
Yeah.
I used to live at the beach. I moved to the mountains. There's a reason for this. So vacation at the beach.
I'm like, I used to live in the mountains.
Writing during the daytime or at nighttime?
It's got to be during the day for me. I'm a morning person.
Yeah,
and
me
so
too.
like I get up, I've got my coffee, I'm ready to go. At night, I'm very tie-tie. I'm like
Mhm.
exhausted from the day and it's time for tea and to not do anything.
Yes,
Shut down.
completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to write at night. It never goes
Yeah,
well.
I'd be like, nope, I'm not writing today. Sorry. Reason 500,022,000 whatever why Ashley would make a terrible author. Sorry. The book you've reread the most.
It's got to be Harry Potter. Just the whole series. I've probably reread that, I don't know, a dozen times more.
Yes.
I'm rereading it to the kids like out loud right now after dinner for sure. My dream is to usurp it with the ACOTAR series.
Ooh. Yeah. Miranda's huge into Harry
Interesting.
Potter.
I know, I was like subtly moving over here.
Oh, my cool stuff. Yes.
All right. Well, that was our last question. We want to thank you so very much for joining us today. It was amazing. We were telling Lori before, like, normally we're at 43 minutes.
Oh no, it's not
It
a bad
was so
thing.
good. It's not a bad thing. I love it. I love it.
Don't
Enchanting
mind me.
Elixirs is available for anyone who loves romance, cozy mysteries, and a touch of witchy magic. We can't wait to see what comes next with Occult Accounts. We will make sure that everything Lori is linked into the captions so that you can access it all too and get updates. And otherwise, thank you, Lori, so much for joining us, and we will see everyone back on the next episode of the Weekly Match.
Bye, guys.